After functioning in that capacity for some time, she she had several trips abroad to Africa, um, Canada, the worldwide, the YWCA, and eventually, or ultimately, having had a good career in community work and social welfare work, she was identified as a good candidate for the political arena, and with my support and the children's support too, because it was quite a very usually the politics could be very rough and what have you there as campaign manager for yeah, true, and she was a minister of social welfare and what have you there, and it is not being boastful, but she has been identified as very prominent member of society, and she serves on boards of several areas. Like everything else, the children would be influenced by the parents in terms of try to copy what are some of the most desirable things or practices or what have you. They usually be a copy to some extent. They would be themselves, but some would rub off there. So I make this point to say that no, in the case of Gentle, the first one, he what I could say about you, man. In the case of Gentle, he attended the MacDonald College after doing primary school, MacDonald College, and he was always a very spriteful and individual. I remember the days when he looking out the window and he saw a fellow going up with a wooden foot, and he called out to him there, hey, man, where you get that fuck foot? Where you get that fuck foot? You remember that one? Right. Where you get that fuck foot? And then he would be looking through the windows and he sees that some children walking and they have to go all the way to Paraclette. And he would say, hey, Daddy, look, they have to walk up to Paraclette, drop them up, please. Yeah. Anyhow, however, okay, I suppose like his father, he had the zeal for adventure, and he was showing that restlessness there in Grenada. And at what age when you went to?
A month after I turned 17.
Well, right. So he'd been moving almost like me in that thirst to get going there. And at 17, he expressed he wanted to go to the States. And so he did. And true that in fact he had a passion for the army, and so he did. I had a passion for the army too. Yes. When I went up in the States in 51, the Korean War was on, and I tried to get enlisted, but I couldn't. I did. I used to wear the army caps and so on as a boy there. Anyhow, so having left the army, he had entered into this career of camera and taking movies and what have you there, and he quickly organized the CultureShare, which was a very good program he had, great impact on on Grenada and Grenadians in New York, or West Indian as a whole. Yeah. Come down and do the carnival shows and all, Trinidad, St. Vincent, and what have you there. In other words, I build in the picture that the influence of the parents, or the examples the parents said, must perpetuate and improve and increase in quality and quantity by the children. And I wish I would have been long enough to see that the grandchildren take up. Well, I'm seeing some grands already in that case on the go. They could identify the targets or the aspirations, what they aspire to. They can identify it, and it's similar characteristically. They walk towards it. Yes, identifying your goal. I think that is a catchword there. Some people have difficulty in identifying a goal. They don't know where to go, what to go. But the man who could reach here and he say, that's the way I want. That's the way I want to go. But that's the kind of man, people that would succeed. Identify your goals early. Well, that's a lot of nonsense, man. Philosophy, yeah. I believe in that philosophy. And this is why I identified my goal early in life by getting married early. Very, very early. Yeah. The growing up in Paraclette, there was, what was it? Our task was to assist in the collection of the nutmegs and on the farm as much as possible. Of course, going to school was the first priority, and you live pretty near the land in many cases. As a matter of fact, houses and where the house is located, there you have agricultural crops growing on, and we assist quite a lot, carrying the nutmegs from the 2 miles away on head to home, and then you have to assist in macing the nutmegs and all the rest of it there. We kept chicken as a yard, what is it called, yard fowl in those days. They're on the loose, but they know they're home, they come to feed, and they're responsible for securing food for them every morning. And you got to go and collect dry wood. In those days, we don't know anything about stove. You make a fireplace in the kitchen, and you get, so you could have seen us with a bundle of dry wood on our heads, making way back home. And what else in that respect there? Yes.
What time did you have to get up in the mornings?
Well, you got to get up early, about, we'd have been up by about 6 for the latest, because you know what, you have to make it with the light of day. Yes. Get ready. And you have chores to do when you come from school in the afternoon. You have chores to do. Cocoa might be out drying. Yes, you have to dry cocoa on a mat and heap it up in the evening, put it in bags, and the next day to spread it out again until it's completely dried. And we had flower garden that we had to give attention to. Yes, and probably maybe these early years why I'm interested in beautification and ornamental plants and what have you there. We had flower garden, always have to clean up and so on there. Then we went to school barefooted. The first time I wore shoes was in, what I was about, what? Perhaps about 11, 12, maybe, about that, about 12 years. The shoes they had in those days was what we call washikang. It's a kind of a canvas type shoe, and so. But other than that, you went to school barefooted. Yes, and it was rough, but there was no radio in the early years of our lives. No radio, but the village was lively with little concerts, particularly on weekends in different homes, and lots of little activities taking place in the villages. Because no radio and what have you.
How you get it?
Well,
what's the qualifications?
For it, well,
requirements to become.
It speaks for itself in that the involvement of service by virtue of the different boards I served on, by virtue of the contribution, the breakthrough with the nutmeg research, and all the other academic achievements, and interest in community development in terms of St. Andrews, the efforts we have made there to develop town of Grenville and St. Andrews in particular. Yes, and so that the award, I suppose, take everything into consideration. And similarly, it's the same thing with my wife. Her involvement has been so wide and effective, and so she's been given the honor of the member of the British Empire, M.B.E, and I was given the O.B.E, and my brother, who is the artist there, had been given the M.B.E for his contribution in education and art. He was art inspector of schools. Yeah, he was responsible for art throughout the island. So that's right. And Dorothy, my sister, the nurse, she has been given the M.B.E on the grounds of her contribution to taking care of the senior citizens. She has a nursing home, and it is the best on the island. As a matter of fact, something is like a little hotel. Yes. So it's a total of your contribution and function to society, or function in society, your contribution to and function of society. Yeah. These are the criteria, I suppose, that's used there.